One of my favorite parts of having a library card is being able to put books on reserve. And with our library, you can reserve up to 10 books for each card. And so for each member of our family, that means we can reserve 40 books. And then of course we meander around in the library and find more. Today I wanted to share just a few books from our huge library haul that we had today. For my books to read for February, I had two main themes, which were love stories, which I don't normally do, so it was kind of a deviation from what I normally would do, and then also to find some books that were written by and about people of color. So the first two I have are Finding Langston by Lisa Klein Ransom. I have read this before. It's a very thin book. It got the Scott Odell Award and the Coretta Scott King Award. And then in addition to reading this Finding Langston, we are going to focus on poetry by Langston Hughes. And then next, I got Out of Darkness, Shining Light by Patina Gappa. And this is a story about the men and women who carried the Dr. Livingstone's body out of Africa. And from what I understand with the reviews on this, it is a pretty unexpected take on Dr. Livingstone and on the people who supported him and on slavery and on colonization. And so I'm really looking forward to reading this. And then we're into the love stories. So some of these are a little unusual for me, which I'm excited about. So I have 3 graphic novels, just making sure that that's true. And so the first one is Fangs. Fangs is by Sarah Anderson. I heard about this in the fall, so it's obviously got that fall vibe with the vampire theme. So this is about a vampire and a werewolf who fall in love, and then how they discover that there are benefits to being involved with a vampire and a werewolf. And so it's a graphic novel that is black and white. And next is the Taj Mahal. Rick Huskin and Adil Khan were the writers and illustrators for this graphic novel. So this is about, I've always been interested in this, but it's about how the Taj Mahal was built. There was this intense love story around it, and so I grabbed that. And then this is Love. It is a series, so there's Love the Tiger. I think this one is the second one, and it's by Frederick Bremaud and Federico Bertolucci, and it is the story about a fox who saves animals from a volcano. Next, I got this one from Chantel Reads All Day, and it is a Paris year. And so the author Janice McLeod goes to Paris, and it's basically her diary with her photos and her notes. And I'm still hopeful for a family trip to Paris someday. I lived in Spain with a French friend for about half a year and loved traveling to Paris. And Paris does relate to love, right? It's the city of love. So next from the library, I got these two. They are Nora Roberts. This is part of her Cousins O'Dwyer trilogy. So I read the first one this fall, which was Dark Witch. But these are book 2, Shadow Spell, and book 3, Blood Magic. It's got magic in it, but it is a love story, and it is, so the first one's one couple, then this is another set in the friends group, and then this is another couple in the friends group. So I'm excited to finish that series. I am reading through all of Elizabeth Gouge's books. So this is one that I haven't read. I love that it just says romance on it. It is The Middle Window, and I'm actually not sure what this one is about, but it is set in Scotland. So romance in Scotland sounds marvelous. So the next two from the library are maybe a little bit of a stretch on a romance, but they're ones that I've wanted to read. So I've got the Illuminated Files. This is such an unusual book, and I've had it on my TBR for a while and just decided that I am going to read it for this season, and it is a young adult. And then, again, probably a stretch, but I wanted to read it, and I think there is a romance in it, and it is Warbreaker. So again, Chantel at Chantel Reads All Day recommended this. I asked her, I've not ever read Brandon Sanderson, and I asked her which ones maybe to start with, and this was one of the ones that she mentioned. It really is a chunker. I know he writes chunkers, but it's about 600 pages. So apparently this is like a slow burn, not really part of the main plot, but there is romance in there, which is kind of my style for romance anyway. So okay, in my stack of library books, I found another graphic novel. So this is In Love and Pajamas, which I honestly thought I might read with my husband. It just looks so cute, just like a couple and the things that they go through. And I just thought he and I could look through it together and enjoy it. So that is actually 4 graphic novels. Next is another YA. It is I'd Tell You I'd Love You, but Then I'd Have to Kill You. I don't know that much about it, but I have read Allie Carter's middle grade Winterbourne series, and so I thought I would give it a try. If it's too, I don't know, I can always DNF it. I guess that doesn't really say that I'm very excited about it. I think it's part of a series, so I thought I would try it. So it's got danger, glamour, fun, everything a girl needs. There's an academy, and it says that Cammie Morgan might be capable of killing a man in 7 different ways, but she's about to begin her most dangerous mission yet, falling in love. And I have the Inheritance Games, which again, it might seem like an odd love choice, but I've heard a couple people say that they didn't realize there was so much romance in this, and they kind of went into it. I know it's been compared to the Westing game kind of idea, so I figured I'd go into it with the idea that it is a romance and then be pleasantly surprised by all of the game pieces to it. So that is the Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And next, the only 2 that I actually own, I'm probably going to get to Major Pettigrew's Last Stand. I got this in a little free library. So it is the love story between a female Pakistani shopkeeper and a like retired military major. And there is, as you can imagine, in this small English village, a lot of reticence among the other people on approving of or agreeing with this relationship. And then I have gotten as a Christmas gift The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by the marvelous V.E. Schwab. And this is, I've mentioned this in a couple videos, it's a story of Addie LaRue who makes a Faustian bargain to extend her life with the agreement that she would not be memorable to anyone that she meets. And then, of course, she meets a man who actually does remember her. I am counting this as a romance. We'll see how that goes. So in addition to these that are kind of themed for the people of color and love theme, I have a few more that I wanted to add to my TBR list. And the first one is Effortless by Greg McKeown. My friend Mackenzie recommended this, and since I read Essentialism and really liked it, I thought I would grab this one. And then while we were just in the library, I found this graphic novel on Charlotte Bronte before Jane Eyre. It does not have color, it is just this kind of grayscale. But I thought it looked interesting, and so I thought I would grab that. So other ones that we got for our library haul. I grabbed the Olympics DK book because the Olympics is coming. I grabbed Felicity's World. So we have the American Girl doll Felicity series, but I wanted to get the Felicity World 1774 to go along with our history curriculum. So these are ones that my 11, almost 12-year-old got. So she got Fablehaven, the third one. She got this series by Chris DeLacy called The Fire Within. So this is some Last Dragon Chronicles. If you know anything about this, let me know. She got Jean Craighead George's Charlie's Raven. So I don't know if this is part of My Side of the Mountain or not. I think that's a trilogy. So this must be a separate one. She wanted to read the second Dragons in a Bag. And honestly, my 9-year-old will probably read this too. She got the Junior Classics Moby Dick. So we've been talking about this a lot, but obviously the original is a little bit too much for her at this point. So she thought she would read this edited version. And then I grabbed this and she decided that yes, she wanted to read it. We love Kate DiCamillo and the cover of this is just so striking. And so we went ahead and got that one. And then my 9-year-old got Anya and the Dragon, which I might also read. It is Russian and Viking folklore. It talks about the Domovoy, which is in The Bear and the Nightingale. Also has Domovoy in it, and so I thought that one looked great. Then my 9-year-old also grabbed this series, The Ant Land of Elian, and he grabbed all 4 of them. And this is a series by Patrick Carman. Again, I don't know that much about it, but I think he was, you know, she's got a squirrel on her shoulder and a wolf next to her, a bird. Then there's a dragon on this one. So I just think that was probably one of the reasons why he grabbed them. Okay, my 9-year-old also grabbed P for Pterodactyl. If you haven't read this book, it's so great. T is for tsunami. U is not for you. So it's the worst alphabet book ever. We've been learning about natives, and so he just grabbed this Iroquois book, which I was pretty excited that he grabbed it on his own. And then he also got the Harry Potter baking book as well. And it has Whomping Willow cheese sticks. Looks like it's got the Happy Birthday Harry and a Dobby cake head. Oh, there's the burrow. So we grabbed that. I don't know if we're gonna actually make anything out of it, but we did bring it home. So here are our TBR books for February. I think we'll be able to get through them all. Until next time.